the Section 194 committee probing suspended Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane's fitness to hold office has resumed its hearings. The first witness is the Public Protector of Zambia, Caroline Zulu-Sokoni. Advocate Dali Mpofu, representing Mkhwebane, started by asking her about the role of the Public Protector, also known as the Ombudsman in other countries. Zulu-Sokoni took the committee through the history of the institution and the various international institutions for Ombudsman's offices. For more on this, we are joined by SABC News reporter Bulelani Phillip. Bulelani, a good morning to you. I think let's start off with the significance of the Zambian Public Protector being asked to come and give evidence.
Well, good morning to you, Naledi, and to the viewers at home. Obviously, the Zambian Public Protector has been in that position since 2004, so she's got a lot of wealth of experience and wisdom. And the testimony that she's giving is going to be relating to how other African countries and in the rest of the world actually regulate the working ons of ombudsman or public protector. Now, of course, in the main, of course, she has been giving testimony around how the processes of the removal of a public protector are done in other countries. And of course, she did actually say or concede when she was led reading evidence by Advocate Dali Mpofu that it's not necessary for a person who is a public protector to be removed from office once the courts have actually found against her or have actually set her reports aside. She's saying that the court process on its own is one of the way of the system cleansing itself, and therefore she does not see the need for a process of a public protector to be removed from office once there are adverse findings against her by the courts. Of course, also the other issue that has come up, she was actually asked for her opinion in terms of what does she think should happen in terms of the public protector being suspended by the president in the South African context. And she was saying that it's actually quite not correct, or it's not quite the ideal situation that a member of the executive, and in this instance the president, can actually be given the unfettered powers to actually be having the right to suspend the public protector. Of course, Advocate Dali Mpofu trying to push that ideally that kind of a decision of a suspension should ideally be actually confirmed by Parliament in order to prevent any conflict of interest, because in this instance of South Africa, the public protector had been investigating the president. So that decision could be, in a way, be seen as an abuse of power.
Yeah, that's a very interesting perspective that you're hearing then from the Zambian Public Protector. What happens next? Where are we now in this inquiry?
Well, today what we do expect is that the evidence of Miss Caroline Zulu-Sokoni will continue. Advocate Dali Mpofu will continue to lead the evidence up until about tea time. That's the time that has been allocated to him. And thereafter, we expect that she will be cross-examined by the evidence leaders. And after that, the members of Parliament will also be given time to actually ask clarifying questions. Because this is a third witness out of 8 confirmed witnesses from the public protector side. But of course, the number of witnesses is a fluid process, given that the latest witness that will be subpoenaed to appear on this committee is that of former public protector Professor Thuli Madonsela, whose subpoena was actually signed off by the National Assembly Speaker last week.
And so when are we expecting to see Professor Thuli Madonsela then appear?
Well, the committee has been really secretive in terms of the lineup of the witnesses, who's coming and who's appearing on which date. So we also get taken by surprise every morning when we come to cover the committee. So at the moment, we don't know the lineup of witnesses as well as who's going to appear on which date.
I think this is certainly a moment that culminates quite significantly for the career of Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. One would wonder what her demeanor is looking like as this process unfolds, and any notable faces that you are seeing as well in the room.
Well, at the moment, I mean, there is still also other legal processes that the public protector is undertaking to try and challenge some of the processes within this inquiry. Remember that initially she had applied for the recusal of the chairperson, Mr. Kubupile Janji, as well as DAMP, Mr. Kevin Milem. Now, that application that she brought before the committee was dismissed. Now, she has since then decided to appeal, or rather to review that decision of the committee. And she's headed to the Western Cape High Court next week in terms of trying to get that decision of the committee, the recusal application that is to be set aside. So if that is the case and she's successful on that leg, that would mean that the committee would have to actually begin its processes afresh. The other complication, of course, that the committee is mindful of is that while it's trying to actually finish off its work in March in order to table its report and recommendations to the National Assembly in April, if there are ongoing legal tussles that will delay that process, it means that the committee's work is creeping closer to the expiry of the term of office of Public Protector, which is going to be in October. So the committee is mindful that it needs to actually complete its processes before that term of office expires. Otherwise, its processes will then be rendered moot if that happens after the expiry of the term of office. Lady.
Thank you so much for that. Well, that there is our SABC News reporter, Bulelani Phillip, giving us the latest on the Section 194 committee that's probing suspended Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane's fitness to hold office.